Let's break down how to build your first $100,000 portfolio with realistic steps that actually work, not with unrealistic assumptions. Just practical investing decisions that work in the real world. For context, why does this $100,000 goal matter? There's a reason investors talk about this milestone so often. Not because $100,000 is magical, but because it's usually the point where compound growth begins to become noticeable. For example, imagine somebody invests $5,000. Even if the market grows 10% in a year, that's only $500. It's nice, but it doesn't feel life changing. Now imagine the same return on $100,000. That's $10,000 growth in 1 year. This is why experienced investors often say the first six figures take the longest. During those early years, your paycheck does most of the work. But once your portfolio grows large enough, the investments begin contributing just as much as you do. And that's where momentum really begins. So here are the 6 steps for your journey on the way to $100,000. Step 1, build the foundation first. Before building a large investment portfolio, most financially stable investors start with 3 basics: emergency savings, retirement accounts, and consistent monthly investing. Let's say someone earns $70,000 per year and sets aside 12% for investing. That's about $700 per month. It may not feel huge at first, but over a year, that's $8,400 invested. Over 5 years, that's already $42,000 in contribution alone before market growth. This is where the journey towards the $100,000 really begins. Consistency matters more than trying to pick the perfect stock. And that's why so many people start with retirement accounts and index funds, because they remove the complexity of investing. Step 2, capture your employer's match. If there's access to a workplace retirement plan with a match, this is often the easiest place to begin. Many employers contribute additional money when employees invest a portion of their salary. Sometimes it's something like this: 50 cents for every dollar invested, up to 5% of your salary. So if someone contributes $3,500 per year, the employer may add another $1,750. That's an immediate 50% return before the market even moves. And missing that match is essentially leaving free money on the table. Once that base is covered, the next step becomes expanding your portfolio. Step 3, use simple core investments. When investors first start building towards $100,000, the portfolio usually doesn't need dozens of positions. Many people begin with a simple structure: broad stock market index funds, international index funds, and potentially bond funds, which are optional depending on your risk tolerance. You might be asking, why index funds? Because they automatically spread investments across hundreds or even thousands of companies. Instead of trying to predict the next winning stock, the investor owns a slice of the entire market. Historically, broad market indexes have produced strong long-term growth over decades. And more importantly, they make investing easier to stick with. Step 4, add dividend stocks for income. Once the portfolio grows, maybe somewhere around $30,000 to $50,000, some investors begin adding dividend stocks. Those are companies that pay shareholders regular cash distributions. At first, the amounts are small. A $20,000 dividend portfolio with a 3% yield produces around $600 a year. That's about $50 per month. Not exactly retirement money yet, but here's where it gets interesting. If those dividends are reinvested automatically, they start buying more shares, and those shares produce more dividends the following year. This creates another compounding engine inside your portfolio. Step 5, consider real estate exposure. Some investors reach their first $100,000 partly through real estate. Sometimes it's a rental property, sometimes it's real estate investment trusts, sometimes it's simply building equity in a primary home. For example, imagine someone buys a home and after several years has built $40,000 in equity. At the same time, they've built a $60,000 investment portfolio. Together, that already creates the $100,000 net worth. Real estate can accelerate wealth building, but it's not required. Many portfolios reach $100,000 entirely through stock market investing. Step 6, increase contributions as income grows. Here's the part many people underestimate. Early career raises can dramatically accelerate the timeline to $100,000. Let's say someone starts investing $500 per month. A few years later, income increases and contributions rise to $900 per month. That change alone can cut several years off the timeline because early on, your savings rate matters more than your investment returns. Higher contributions create the initial mass that compounding later multiplies. Here's what the journey often looks like. Let's imagine a typical investing path to $100,000. At age 27, your portfolio starts with $5,000. At age 30, through consistent investing, it grows to around $35,000. At age 34, the balance crosses $70,000. And somewhere in the mid to late 30s, the portfolio finally hits $100,000. That first six-figure milestone may have taken 8 to 9 years. But here's the surprising part. The second $100,000 often comes much faster. Why? Because now the portfolio itself may generate thousands of dollars per year in returns. Compound growth starts pulling real weight. And finally, the investor experiences what long-term growth really is. If you want to see strategies for catching up in your 30s, 40s, and beyond, make sure to subscribe to my channel and watch prior videos with steps on how to do so. By subscribing, you also won't miss any of my tips for maximizing your investments and reaching your goals faster. So if building your first $100,000 feels slow, you're not doing it wrong. That's actually how the process works. Early on, your income does most of the work. Later, your investments start helping. And eventually, your portfolio begins growing almost on its own. The key ideas are simple. Invest consistently, capture retirement account benefits, use diversified investments like index funds, reinvest your dividends, and increase contributions as income rises. Do those things long enough, and that first six-figure portfolio becomes inevitable. Then the real magic of compounding really begins. If you found this helpful, consider subscribing for more videos about investing, retirement strategies, and long-term wealth building. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.